Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into the Wednesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. We are here on BettingPros.com. Everywhere where you get your podcasts, any platform, including now YouTube with the video of this podcast, up every single morning here, all thanks to BetMGM. Okay, so the thaw out has kind of begun a little bit. It was a 2-1 night and then a 3-1 night last night. So the record's 5-2. We're still scuffling along with the overall money. We've been up the last two nights on my picks. We were down because of the Discord bet 2-2 last night, and we didn't really hit. We missed on, we got Baylor right, money line. They covered. Ugh. And then Alabama right, and they covered. And then Michigan got completely flattened, and that blew the half a unit parlay at plus 126. It actually closed at plus 146 because the Michigan line came down, and thus there was more value on the parlay. So you may have gotten even better, but it didn't matter. This is why we don't bet parlays, right? And I should have just bet Alabama minus 11 and should have bet Baylor minus 4.5 or 4, and we would have been 2-1 and up, but that's why we don't bet parlays, right? This is the lesson. You guys see this play out in real time as to why I tell you don't bet parlays. Bet them straight up, straight out, and we would have been 2-1, and against the number, it would have been great. But instead, we didn't do that, not even betting the money line. So Bama and Baylor both covering. Michigan just didn't do us any favors, but that's the only thing we got wrong yesterday. And I got to say, you guys, the reaction to the player prop bet that I made last night with Ja Morant was wild. You guys really liked that. So I got two more today, but I'm going to try to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I know I have kind of failed the last couple of times I've done this, but I'm trying to keep myself energized. I'm trying to keep myself interested, and I'm trying to make the podcast fun, and I'm trying to give us some unique things to bet on. So I haven't focused in on one game on a night in the NBA and made multiple plays on one game. So if I get the one game wrong, it's just a disaster. But I got 3 plays on one NBA game tonight. I've got one college basketball play, and I've got one NHL play to give out. So we're back in action here with just 2 units in play, and I'm still being conservative because I still don't really love where I am, okay? So we had a couple of good days, but I don't think I'm hot by any means, okay? So we're just going to kind of slowly try to stack winning days on winning days like I've talked about before, just kind of trying to build where, okay, we had a good Monday, we had a good Tuesday, let's have a good Wednesday and keep going here and slow and, like the tortoise, right? Eventually we'll get there. So that's where I'm going today here for the picks. I got 2 player props at a quarter unit. I've got a total to give you all in one game. And then I've got 2 plays, 1 hockey and 1 college basketball to get to. So we got the Tampa Bay Lightning right last night on a 2-0 victory. How about if you bet the puck line, you got that puck line with 2 seconds left. How about that? That's a nice little win for you guys with Tampa Bay last night up against the Dallas Stars. I have a similar philosophy going into the hockey bet coming up tonight, given goaltending and dominance. So we'll get into that here in just 1 second. And there's a little bit of a side story with that Nova Creighton game that I'll talk about here in a second as well. I think it's important to talk about it before we get into the game. So we got all those plays coming up here on the podcast. Okay, so a couple quick things. One, if you are still awaiting your cookies, and I know some people are getting agitated because of the length of time it's taken to get your cookies, you're going to get them, okay? I've been talking to the folks at Sweet Seas Bakery. They're coming, so please just hold on. They're coming in the mail. They're going to be there. The final shipment goes out, I think, today for everyone's cookies, so you should get it by Friday, Saturday. Everybody should have their cookies. I know you've been seeing me post pictures on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot, and that I'm sure that kind of agitates you, going where's mine? I understand, okay? I know you're frustrated. Just give them a little patience. Have a little patience. Give them a little time. I promise you, we will take care of you. You will get everything you purchased, and then we will finally make the big donation, and we'll tell you all when that donation has gone to the Ramadan House in the name of the Daily Juice. So I'll tell you all that coming up here very soon. So very cool stuff with that, but just be a little bit patient. They're having a little delay just getting everything out into the mail, but you will get it. I promise you, you will get everything that you have purchased from our friends at Sweet Seas Bakery. So one more quick thing, and we're going to do live streams for March Madness. We're still working out the schedule as to what we're going to do, but I'll have some more information on how that's going to work coming up in March. But we will have NCAA Tournament March Madness. We're going to have contests for March Madness. So a lot of cool things coming down the pike. So just stay tuned for all that. And finally, you guys have been sending me pictures of the new Daily Juice gear that you have purchased by going to fantasypros.com/shop and going to new gear. It looks sweet. I mean, there's some really cool t-shirts, some really cool hats. I haven't gotten my Daily Juice hat yet. I got to go and get that. That's my next purchase, to go buy a Daily Juice fit hat. And I've been told by people who have gotten them, they're really cool. They're really comfortable. So looking forward to grabbing my own, and hopefully you guys will buy them as well. So if you want them, fantasypros.com/shop is the website to go and go into new gear, and you'll see all the Daily Juice stuff for you guys to sport around town as being the cool kids that you are in whatever town you happen to live in. BetMGM is the title sponsor of this podcast. You guys know about the risk-free $600 up to $600 risk-free first bet from BetMGM with that promo code JUICE100. You must be physically located, and this is available in New Jersey, Colorado, Indiana, Tennessee, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. You must be 21 years or older to take advantage of this offer from our friends at BetMGM. You must be physically located in these states. If you do have any questions, concerns, go to betmgm.com and they can give you all the rules and pertinent information. You must be 21 years or older, like I mentioned, and if you do have a gambling problem, please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-522-4700, 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado and Nevada, 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey and West Virginia, or 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. Sorry, that would not pop up on my screen on my computer for me to do the read like I do every single night here for the Daily Juice. I apologize. All right, let's start with the one NBA play, because everyone's so jumping up and down about these very interesting player props, which I had never done before in the Daily Juice before last night. So we're 1-0. We got Ja Morant right. He scored 35 points last night, right? So that was great. Ja Morant 1-0. Woo, let's stop while we're ahead. But no, we're going to keep going. Chicago and New Orleans. Let's talk about Chicago and New Orleans. All right, so here is a team. New Orleans is favored by 5 in this game. The total is 236.5. Look, New Orleans is just a wagon. Until we get to the All-Star break, we're just going to keep betting the over for Chicago and New Orleans. Now, these two teams did play once before this season, and it was a wild basketball game. The total was 229.5. The game was a 129-116 victory for Chicago, and New Orleans was on the road. Chicago scores 129 points, and it goes over by 15.5 points. Okay, 229.5, over by 15.5 points. Chicago is pretty good to the over, 18-15. New Orleans is 24-10 to the over, but they had 11 consecutive games go to the over. It was snapped against San Antonio on the road. They come right back. Utah goes over, 129-124 the final, over by 16 points with a total of 237. This total is 236. Not going to stop betting this. We're just betting the over. The books just can't adjust. I think they'll probably adjust it a little bit after the All-Star break, but right now, they're just kind of leaving the number right there. It's been 242, 232.5, and 237 over the last 3 games, and 2 of those 3 have gone over. The Milwaukee went over by 12. The Utah went over by 16. So it's not just going over, it's going way over. Chicago, New Orleans, 236.5 for a half a unit. We're going over. All right. For the other half a unit, we're breaking it in half, 2 player props. The first, look, I've looked at Zion props left and right, and I'm probably going to sprinkle some personal plays on Zion just to kind of see, because I'm experimenting here a little bit. Zion rebounds at 7.5 for tonight. William Hill has it at -140. I've looked at this. I thought about this a lot. Zion has been in 4 of the last 5 games, Zion has gone over 7.5 rebounds. Just a little bit concerned about what happened the first time these two teams played, because Zion scored a lot but wasn't that active defensively and didn't rebound all that much. So I'll probably have that be a personal play for me, not an official play, but I think Zion over 7.5 rebounds is interesting. His point total is at 29. It's a little high for me just because the first time they played, he scored 23. And Zion he got up for Utah, okay? Everyone got up for Utah. I wonder, are they going to get up for the Bulls? That's my question. How much hype will be there for New Orleans? They're at home, and they got fans in the stands, but how much excitement will there be for this game? Now, on the other side, look, I think Zach LaVine is going to go off. Zach LaVine scored 46 points in the first matchup, okay? He had a monster game against them. That was his season high. That was back on the 10th of February. He went 17 of 25, 9 of 14 from behind the three-point line, hit all 3 of his free throws, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. I don't think he's going to score 46 points again. However, New Orleans does not play defense, and Zach LaVine gets going. He scored 24, 35, 21, 38, 30, 37, 30, okay? Going back to the middle of February. Only game in March, they lost it 118-112 to Denver at home. He scored 23 points. He was 1 of 8 from behind the three-point line. But in the previous games, 4 of 8, 5 of 8, 4 of 6, 3 of 6, okay? He's been very good from behind the three-point line. Denver is a better defensive team than New Orleans is, and I just think New Orleans is going to allow Zach LaVine to go crazy. He'll take a ton of shots. He's a high-volume shooter, okay? 20 shots, 16, 21, 14, 20, 28, 22, 25. He just gets a ton of shots, okay? The Bulls rely on him. He is extraordinarily talented. And again, I don't think Zach LaVine goes for 46, but his average is 28.5. Okay, so this is 1 point above his average against one of the worst defensive teams, if not the worst defensive team in the NBA. Zach LaVine over 29.5 at minus 115. Got that at William Hill. That's the first quarter unit player prop. Second play is from the prop bet cheat sheets. Okay, so bettingpros.com, you go there to the website, go under NBA, go under prop bet cheat sheet. There, it's going to list a bunch of player props. I told you yesterday, when I go to that, I'm not looking at unders, okay? I can't play player prop unders in the NBA. It's just, I have a tough enough time playing unders in the NHL. I can't play player prop unders, and I just can't do it. I can play underdogs. I can't play unders on player props. According to our projections at bettingpros.com, Eric Bledsoe is going to score at least 15 points tonight. 2.5 points over his projected 12.5 that's listed at William Hill at minus 115. Minus 125. Excuse me. Bledsoe is minus 125 at William Hill. So Bledsoe over 12.5 points coming up here tonight. Now, here's a couple of reasons why. Bledsoe has been a pretty good player here. He's getting a lot of minutes. He's getting a lot of run for New Orleans. And there's a lot of hype around the backcourt because he's a guy who they need to step up and play big. So last game out against the Utah Jazz, Eric Bledsoe had 11 points, scored, but he played 37 minutes. He was 5 of 13 shooting, okay? 5 of 13, 1 or 2 from behind the three-point line. He was a minus 2, only scored 11 points. But if you go, wait, okay, so we're at 12.5 against another team in the Bulls that really, they don't play great defense either. The games before that, he scored 19, 16, and 11. So he scored 11, 19, 16, 11 over the previous 4 games. He's right there. So we need Bledsoe just to take one more shot, hit one more shot. And with the total being 236.5, I think it's a pretty decent shot that we're going to wind up getting a pretty high-scoring game and a lot of points for both teams. So in the game against Chicago, which was kind of weird, and I don't know what happened here. He only played 17 minutes. He only scored 5 points, okay? So Bledsoe can disappear, but I'm going to rely on our prop bet cheat sheet. It's one of the top 5 prop bet cheat sheets props for tonight. It's Eric Bledsoe over 12.5 points scored tonight for the New Orleans Pelicans at minus 125 for a quarter unit. So we have a full unit going with the Pelicans and the Bulls, okay? We're going over 236.5, half a unit. We're going Zach LaVine over 29.5 points at minus 115, and Eric Bledsoe over 12.5 points at a quarter unit. I'm probably going to look at some others. Zion props, I may get involved. Again, the Zion rebounding props have been very profitable. I'm probably doing that for myself. I can't get behind it too much just yet. I'm a little concerned just where we are. Zion props have been extraordinary, right? I mean, Zion's been just incredible, but I just wonder a little bit here about just that first matchup with the Bulls and how many points he scored, and that Zion didn't grab a ton of rebounds in that game. But He had 26 and 10 in his last game. I know a lot of you guys have been betting the double-doubles for Zion. He had 26 and 10 against Utah. He had 23 and 14 against San Antonio. He had 34 and 8 against Milwaukee. Only 6 rebounds against Detroit, 32 and 6, and then 28 and 10 against Boston. So he's had double-doubles in 3 of his last 5 games. He's gone over the 7.5 rebound in 4 of his last 5, like I mentioned, with 10, 14, 8, 6, and 10. The number is 7.5 at William Hill, juiced up to minus 140. So it's a little heavy on the juice, but I'll probably get involved in that personally, and maybe I'll play his over points total, but I don't know. It's 29. It's kind of high for Zion. So 26, 23, 34, 32, 28. His average is 29. Right there, that's where the prop is for his scoring is 29. So maybe not great value there, but I think rebounds for Zion could be the value play to hop on if you want something else going on for New Orleans and Chicago. So full unit going there with 3 plays in that game in the NBA. Okay, so the Creighton Blue Jays are on the road at Villanova. The line is 4. The Jays played against Villanova about 2 weeks ago, and they were 2-point home dogs, and they won by 16. Just blew the doors off Villanova, destroyed them. So Nova lost to St. John's on the road as 9-point favorites. They lost by 11. That was a 20-point difference between the final score and the line. Here is the Creighton Blue Jays on the road in a very similar situation. Now they're going to in the next game, St. John's lost by 23 points. As 11-point favorites, they won by 23, and they covered it by 12 points. Nova killed them the next game. So same thing. So on the road, Nova gets beat badly by the Creighton Blue Jays. After getting beat badly by St. John's, they revenged it at home, and I think the same thing's going to happen here with the Creighton Blue Jays. Here's the one hook for this game. So Greg McDermott is a man who I have known for a very long time, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Greg McDermott. And he made an awful comment in the locker room a couple of days ago in which he said, we can't have anybody get off the plantation, meaning you can't get away, you can't run away from what we're trying to do. I have no idea why he used that word. And everyone I've spoken to around the Creighton Blue Jays, people who have known Coach McDermott, he issued a Twitter comment and a Twitter apology, and the university has issued an apology, and this is right before the biggest Big East game of the year. This could either be a galvanizing moment for this Creighton Blue Jays team, and they come out like gangbusters against Villanova, or this could really break the team apart just depending upon how significant, how angry are the players at the comments and what they are feeling inside. My guess is by the reaction and the fact that Coach McDermott went public with it, my reaction is that there's probably a couple of players in that locker room who are super pissed off that Coach McDermott did that. So I think this is right away. It came out yesterday. The game is today. I think this is a super quick turnaround against one of the top teams in the country on the road. I think this is problematic. I think this is going to be difficult. And it was said in the locker room in Cincinnati after the team lost to Xavier by 8 points. So it compounds a loss. It makes the loss even worse. And now I think this team needs probably some time to absorb, to deal. And these are young kids. I think the Jays might be in real trouble here against Villanova. This is not the type of story you want to be dealing with right now, right before the biggest game of the year on the road at a Nova team that is coming off of a loss to Butler where they looked horrific in their last game. They beat St. John's, they got all big on themselves, and then Butler crushed them. So you know that Jay Wright's going to have his team ready, and historically speaking, Jay Wright has had Greg McDermott's number, and the Jays have been really hard-pressed to win at Villanova. So the line's only 4. Nova laying the 4 by a half a unit at minus 110. Finally, one hockey play to get into here today, and it is the red-hot Toronto Maple Leafs who have been just owning the Edmonton Oilers. So these teams have played, and it doesn't matter who's in goaltending, whether it be Hutchinson, it doesn't matter if he's in goal for me tonight. It really doesn't matter because both goaltenders have been outstanding, Campbell or Hutchinson for the Leafs. 3-0 the win on the game 4-0 the win 3 nights ago, or 4 nights ago. 2 nights ago, the 3-0 win. It has been a 7-0 run for the Maple Leafs against the Oilers. The Oilers haven't scored here in this 3-game stretch here. the line's only minus 110 because the books are anticipated the Oilers to win tonight. But I'm going to ride the hot goaltenders and the fact that it looks like Austin Matthews is going to play. Okay? So, I mean, if that's the case, if we get Austin Matthews in this game and the money line's only minus 110, I'm just going to ride the hot goaltenders. I'm going to ride what has happened here over the last couple of games and just go for the 3-game sweep. And it's in Edmonton again. I mean, the Leafs have been good defensively, but really the goaltending has been incredible. And I think it's wild to watch these two goaltenders and what they both have done. I think they're red hot, much like Vasilevsky for the Tampa Bay Lightning with how hot he has been. Back-to-back shutouts against Dallas Stars. We had that last night with Tampa. Same logic, going to go right back to it. Hot goaltending and potentially Austin Matthews coming back. He did travel. He did practice on Monday with his team. So let's see if Austin Matthews plays tonight. I think he might, and if he does, it's even better. The line will swing dramatically. So let's get some value there at minus 110 for Toronto to just win over the Edmonton Oilers coming up here tonight. They scored 3 goals in the first period. If you remember, we bet the over in that game. It was 3-0, and I thought, okay, maybe, and then Edmonton just didn't get involved, and it was a 3-0 win, and it was kind of a walk. So, I don't know. When you have hot goaltending, and Edmonton really is not playing well right now, and it's the same team and the same thing, and it's like Groundhog's Day, I don't see why this is going to be a different format, a different ending. Sure, Edmonton probably scores tonight. Maybe they score a bunch, but I'll take Toronto just to win the game here and to complete the 3-game sweep. It's hard to beat a team 3 games in a row, but I'm going to take Toronto here for a half a unit here on the money line to beat the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, so our 5 plays here today, 2 units in totality. Once again, to recap, Chicago, New Orleans over 236.5 for half a unit. Eric Bledsoe over 12.5 points for a quarter unit. Zach LaVine over 29.5 points for a quarter unit. Toronto money line minus 110 for a half a unit. And Villanova -4, minus 110 for a half a unit. I still don't feel like I'm hot. I still don't feel like I'm through the thaw. But let's hope to keep this rolling here. 2-1 to 3-1 last night. Let's see if these player props keep cashing and see if we can make some noise here betting these player props coming up for the NBA. My name's Matt Peralt. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Every morning, you know it. It's the Daily Juice Podcast right here on BettingPros.com. Brought to you by BetMGM.